Well, guys, I am dragging. I've made a good bit of trails today, and I wanted to do a review on my Echo 2511T because it has been a wonderful, wonderful machine. I used, I think I put 2 tanks fuel through it today, and I'm going to show you what I accomplished. We have a storm coming. So, one of the jobs I'm going to have to do that we're definitely going to build in the channel is a bridge across here. I am at my super duper relaxing up north abode, and I'm trying to improve the trail network to make it easier to hunt this coming year and access and have fun. So we'll start going down the trails. Then we'll go over the saw that I highly recommend everybody look at for their property work needs. So this is a really old blind that we're going to rehabilitate because it's super duper cool. Probably made from the wood from right here. We're gonna open all this up. I was just stacking some down stuff right here, and that'll connect to my other trail. Do that next. So far have been, I guess I made it over this trail here was pre-existing, but really old. And now we can get to the customer. She's getting pretty rowdy. We have a thunderstorm coming. So I'm going to get to the review. Alright, so this is my Echo. I believe it's a 12-inch long bar. Stock chain, stock bar is awesome. I do know people change to the quarter, pico, or whatever the heck size. You know, the thing about it is, I'm a landowner, so I'm going to try and come at you guys from the perspective that I know the most about, which is being a landowner. I'm not a climber, or, you know, legitimately an arborist. But I'll tell you what, this is a wonderful tool, and it should not be limited to arborists / tree climbing individuals. A property owner with this tool in their hand, you can walk for miles like this. And you can walk for miles like this when the other hand gets tired. And when you want to cut into bigger wood, you can grab right here on the handle, and you can dog right in. I put 3-point West Coast dogs on because I like them, and also because I don't want to go back to the truck or the side-by-side to go grab a bigger saw when I can power through it with this. If you're not hitting the chain on rock, sand, dirt, there is so much cutting on this chain. I mean, 2 tanks today and just tanks galore before that. I rarely really sharpen it. I mean, I do because I want to keep a sharp edge, but it is remarkable how, I'm trying to get this to come through for you guys, how decent the edge is. Come on. There you go. how decent the edge is on this chain, even after the amount of cutting that it's had. This thing has tons of power. You can easily get through, 8 or 10 inch logs, and you're really not even working that hard. You can dog in, you can, run her down. What you're doing is you're going to control your downward pressure and also how quickly you're pivoting on your dogs. But this thing still cuts through, 3-inch material, 4-inch material. It's just a lightsaber right through it, no problem. Limbing, going around and making trails, this thing is awesome. If I had to give you guys a longitudinal distance, I would say, of limbing, of idling, because, you're moving material while you're working. And obviously this does have chain brake, so when you're moving material, I'd recommend throwing a chain brake on. A couple 100 yards per tank of fuel of, limbing and moving and carrying and deciding what direction to go. Of fuel, you get about 2. You really should top off your bar oil every single fill up. Just while you're filling up fuel, you may as well top up with some bar oil. I really like the Husqvarna all season. Works just fine for me. I use VP Racing for oil. Usually I also use Husky X-Guard oil. I think it's called X-Guard. Back to this saw, and I use the same fuel in all my stuff. I do 40-to-1 for everything. And I do, I'm not going through enough where it's a burden to me to use the VP or to use Husky on everything. Even string trimmers and weed whacker, or string trimmers and pole saws, or head trimmers, you don't need to run nice stuff in that. But what's the downside to running rec fuel, non-ethanol with decent oil? As going back to the saw, it is carbureted. The handle has plenty of purchase. It's actually a really nice handle, so you can really, starts easy. It's a 1-pull saw once it's running. It does take a couple when it's cold. You're probably pulling 5 or 6 times when it's a cold machine. Choke on, pull till you feel pop, and obviously I usually have a standard rule of I prime 5 times from when you start moving fuel. So I'm not really doing anything there. See how I just filled a little bit more? Still not doing much. Now we're moving fuel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I like to do it. I do it on all my saws, 5 series, 3 series, Echo, the 7310. The saw is crazy light. You are not fatigued at all after working. At least your arms aren't. You're going to be, your legs are going to be fatigued, whatever. But your arms are not going to be falling off you because it's not like you just did arm day for, an hour and a half running this thing. I think they weigh like 6.5 pounds or something like that in working function. And it is remarkable what work you can do for this. And more importantly, what you can do for the flexibility, not only doing limbing, but it's really nice too. You can hold like a limb and dice it up into smaller pieces. So you come down with your other hand, and then you move your hand down a little bit and cut up another piece. It's really, really awesome. So this is a really cool saw. They come in, I think, like $420 or something like that. Now you're getting a lot of saw for your money. They run super smooth. They're very, very unpicky. They're super duper light. If you did want to put a climbing harness on, you can definitely do that. Oh, it is getting rowdy. It is getting super duper rowdy. Just a single, but it is a retained nut, so that's pretty cool. Chain brake works super duper good. I've heard that when you port them into a muffler mod at least, and then porting, they really rip supposedly, and I wouldn't mind trying that. So we'll see at some point someday. 2511T ported on the channel would be pretty sweet. Not done by me. I'm not a porter. I would like to learn because I think it's very cool, but I don't have time. I'd rather be running the saws. So I would like to give this thing a very much glowing review because it works amazing for me. It's super duper light, works great for groundwork. I would imagine it works great up in a tree. I'm not a tree, climbing arborist individual. I own property and I try to maintain my trails, and there's always down limbs and growing. The thing about owning property is it's always growing. So you're constantly having to do additional maintenance to your stuff. So if you own property and you want to take care of your trails and whatever, instead of walking through the woods with a much, much heavier, hugely heavy chainsaw in comparison, this is a 550G with a 20-inch bar. This is an amazing saw. Just the only way that this could be better, full wrap in a 24. I would like to put a bigger bar on it because, when you're keeping a sharp chain and you're controlling your actions as the operator. I would like to have a longer bar for not bending over, stand up and buck, you know. This is a great saw. I am a Husky guy. This is a great saw. Don't turn your nose up at Echo. They make really excellent blowers, whackers, you know, saws. Their professional saws are awesome. So highly, highly, highly recommend. And for you property owners, this thing is a great thing to have in the toolbox for really, really small amount of money. I don't know how many tanks of fuel I have through this, probably 50-ish, I would have to guess. I mean, I don't really know. I would have to guess. I actually have never put this thing in a vise. I usually just sharpen it, you know, the old-fashioned way. It doesn't take very long to do, and obviously this bar doesn't really get pinched that much because I'm mostly doing small limbs. So if I had to guess, like 50 tanks or something like that. I do wish I kept it a little bit cleaner, but unfortunately that is the reality of using a saw. So I would like to highly recommend this. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Try to take care of your stuff a little bit better than me. I admit that sometimes I am lacking a little bit on cleanliness and whatever. Not on me, but, you know, could do a little better job keeping things clean. Hopefully you guys all have a great day. Take care and stay safe. Running a chainsaw is always dangerous, so, you know, use your head. Be careful.